All right, first up, we're going to be taking a look at this wonderful thing that just occurred. So right now, what's going on right now is it's Hindu Diwali celebration, festival of lights that they do every year about this time. It's usually late October, early November, somewhere in there, but it's a Hindu religion, and coming out, when was this? This was October 7th. California makes Diwali an official statewide holiday. So we got the lovely Hinduism spreading throughout the United States. I believe this is the third state to implement it as a state holiday. It says California has become the third U.S. state to designate Diwali, the Hindu Festival of Lights, as an official statewide holiday. Newsom signed a bill into law Tuesday to go into effect on January 1st. It would authorize public schools and community college to close on Diwali. So we're going to be closing down the state for a Hindu religion. So state employees could elect to take the day off, and public school students will get an excused absence to celebrate the holiday. The new law recognizes that Diwali is also celebrated by Sikhs, Jains, and Buddhists. Pennsylvania was the first U.S. state to make Diwali a statewide holiday in 2024, followed by Connecticut earlier this year. Assembly member Ash Kalra from San Jose, who co-authored the bill with Darshana Patel. I mean, clearly these people are Hindu who did this. An assembly member from San Diego said he grew up celebrating the festival of family members, but it is an experience that was isolated from the rest of his life, and so on and so forth. So we're at a point now where we're just going to go ahead and start taking pagan religions and adopting them as holidays and stuff, which, I mean, we're not going to get into that whole discussion, but you look at all the holidays that we already have. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas to Easter to Valentine's Day to Halloween, they're all pagan holidays and whatnot. We're not going to get into that whole discussion right now. But still, it's just, this is another element of creeping the stuff in and attaching it to government, attaching it to federalization of these things. And we understand here in the United States, part of the whole thing of this was you were free to have religion yourself, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be thrown down your throat. And it just, whenever I see stuff like this, the first thing that pops into my head is just another check in the laundry list of why judgment is coming down upon this country. And I'm specifically talking about this country because of stuff that we say like this. It's just another check to another strike of judgment coming around this country. And I know that there was that whole thing that we had going on that was getting passed around the church and the prophecy community and everything like that, where all the pastors were saying, if we want God to give us a break and to restore everything that's going on, or give us a moment of reprieve, then we need to make sure that we get Trump in there, because he's going to protect Christianity and he's going to protect God and he's going to do all these things or whatever. And that's just been a giant lie, because October 20th, presidential message from Trump on Diwali. Today, I send my best wishes to every American celebrating Diwali, the Festival of Lights. For many Americans, Diwali is a timeless reminder of light's victory over darkness. It is also a time to bring families together and friends together to celebrate community, draw strength from hope, and embrace a lasting spirit of renewal. As millions of citizens light diyas and lanterns, we rejoice in the eternal truth that good will always triumph over evil. This is the guy that we're told was supposed to be restoring, protecting Christianity and that all this stuff, but yet he's speaking of a Hindu holiday that's talking about eternal truth and good, which is interesting. To every American celebrating Diwali, may this observance bring abiding serenity, prosperity, hope, and peace. It's always fascinating, because whenever, for all the years that we saw when Obama and Biden were in office and stuff like that, all the pastors would come out whenever these things happened, whenever they promoted or endorsed some type of religion, they would just hammer it and hammer it and hammer it. But because it's Trump, all of a sudden, it's like three blind mice up in here. They're not seeing it. I wonder why. But yeah, so Coming from the office of the president here, from the White House, he is telling everybody to have a great Diwali because he's doing it as well. As we move along to this just came out today. Trump to host Diwali Festival of Lights at the White House. So not only did he send out a message, but he was hosting the Festival of Lights. It says Trump will celebrate the triumph of good over evil during the Diwali Festival of Lights celebration at 4 p.m. at the White House Oval Office today, on Tuesday. Diwali is a symbolic celebration of the triumph over good and evil held in either October or November by Hindus and other in India and elsewhere, with lights representing good triumph over evil, which is represented by darkness. Basically what it is, it's the celebration. It's a 4-day celebration where they not only they lift up specific Hindu gods. We know there's several hundred of them, but they lift up specific Hindu gods like Vishnu and whatnot like that. And it's a time to bring them up and celebrate them for what they have done. And on the 4th day, they believe that Vishnu escapes from hell and steps back onto the earth to bring wonder and prosperity and life to the earth and whatnot. And it's also a time for people to light their lanterns and their candles, their diyas as they call them, and meditate inward in order to enlighten their own souls. Again, we know Hinduism is part of the mystery religion, and it's the worship of self and so on and so forth. So that's what it is. And so Trump is endorsing it and he's promoting it. Gavin Newsom is making it a statewide holiday, the 3rd state to do it. And this is actually today, video of what took place in the Oval Office. Check this out.
Would you like to come to light?
Yeah, if you want. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you all. Thank you.
So that's the dude who's, as Eric Trump would say, saving God. That's the guy who's protecting the Christian faith in the country and restoring and to help make it so God doesn't bring judgment down upon this country. And he's the one that's helping propel and celebrate a Hindu festival at the head of the country and whatnot. This is not anything new. You can see this. This is back from 2024. Biden celebrates Diwali at the White House with message from International Space Station astronaut. So he carried this through, as well as we go through the timeline here. First ever White House Diwali was in 2003 by George W. Bush. So it started with Bush, and then Barack carried it through on his time as well. With we can see here Obama's in 2009, Obama's in 2016. Trump did this in 2017, so this is not the first time he's done it. He carried it through in 2017 as well. Biden did it in 2022. Kamala Harris, 2023. We just saw 2024 with Biden, and then today we see that Trump kept it going. So nothing's changed as far as the endorsement and the projection of false pagan religions in this country. Nothing has changed when it comes to circumventing any type of judgment that God's going to place upon this country. That was always something that I fought from the very beginning. Those who claim that because Trump is in there, we're going to get some type of reprieve, which is funny because, again, like I said before, this was the message was he's going to stop all of this pagan stuff in this country. That's what he was going to do. And he never did. Why? Because these are the times that we're in. We're in a sinful, dark, fallen world. And all of the leaders that we have right now are sinful and fallen. Majority of them, I would say, are just going along with the script that's been handed to him by the puppeteers, which Trump is clearly a part of that. If you still can't admit that, then you're not looking at the evidence. And so this is where we're at right now. These are part of the end times that's happening. And we need to make sure that we don't deceive ourselves when it comes to what we're seeing right now. We need to make sure that we don't deceive ourselves, because again, I hear it all the time. Let's call out what Biden and Obama did with all the pagan religions that they endorsed. But yet we have a man here that is doing the exact same thing. I just showed you, doing literally the exact same thing. And it's crickets. And so we need to make sure that we're not deceiving ourselves and we're being honest to ourselves, because if we're not being honest to ourselves about everything that's happening right now, then we're not going to have the knowledge that we need in order to go out and witness and to encourage one another and to do the work that God has given us to do. And we have so many talking heads around the church community right now that because they're in their own self-delusion about this stuff, they are not giving the proper information in order to equip us to go out and do our jobs. Withholding information is not going to help anybody. Choosing to not talk about certain things because of your own personal situation or desire or agenda or bias or whatever the case may be, not talking about that stuff is only going to hurt us. We need to be fully equipped. What is the first thing that the army does before they take any action? They go out and collect intelligence. It's information. Information is the first thing. And if we're not fully equipped on information, we cannot fight our battles properly. We cannot do our jobs properly. And we need to make sure that we're continuing to find out every bit of what is happening around us in order for us to do our job. We really need to make sure that we do that. Otherwise, we're only hurting ourselves and others around us. So.